Pomerania-Stolp Herzogtum Pommern-Stolp, Polish księstwo słupskie, Duchy of Słupsk was one of the partitions of the Duchy of Pomerania. Centered in Słupsk, it was created from another partition of the Duchy of Pomerania, Pomerania-Wolgast, to satisfy Bogislaw V, Duke of Pomerania in 1368, and existed until 1459, when it was inherited by Eric II of Pomerania-Wolgast. In 1474, it was merged to the partition of Bogislaw X, Duke of Pomerania, who 4 years later became the sole Duke of Pomerania. Background: the Duchy of Pomerania was partitioned several times to satisfy the claims of the male members of the ruling House of Pomerania dynasty. The partitions were named after the ducal residences: Pomerania, Bath, Demmin, Ruggenwalde, Stettin, Stolp, and Wolgast. None of the partitions had a hereditary character. The members of the House of Pomerania inherited the duchy in common. The duchy thus continued to exist as a whole despite its division. Creation. Partition of 1368-72. After the death of Barnim IV of Pomerania-Wolgast in 1366, an armed conflict arose when Barnim's brother Bogislaw V refused to share his power with Barnim's sons, Władysław I and Bogislaw I, and his other brother, Władysław V, who in turn allied with Mecklenburg to enforce their claims. On May 25, 1368, a compromise was negotiated in Anclam, which was made a formal treaty on June 8, 1372 in Stargard, and resulted in a partition of Pomerania-Wolgast. Bogislaw V received most of the farther Pomeranian parts. Accepted was the land of New Stettin, which was to be ruled by his brother Władysław V, and was integrated into Bogislaw's part duchy only after his death in 1390. This eastern partition became known as Pomerania-Stolp. History. The situation of the descendants of Bogislaw V, who ruled Pomerania-Stolp, differed somewhat from the situation of the western counterparts. The area was more sparsely settled and dominated by powerful noble families, so not much income could be derived by the dukes. On the other hand, the Stolpian branch of the House of Pomerania had relatives among the royal houses of Denmark and Poland. Castamere IV and Elizabeth, the children of Bogislaw V and his first wife Elizabeth, the daughter of Castamere III of Poland, were both raised at the Polish court in Krakow. Elizabeth would become Holy Roman Empress after her marriage with Charles IV, and Castamere was adopted by and designated heir of his grandfather. Yet, his ambitions were thwarted when Ludwig of Hungary overruled the testament of Castamere of Poland in 1370. Castamere of Pomerania-Stolp only for a short time took the land of Dobrin as a fief. Treaty of Pysdry. During the Polish-Teutonic Wars, the Pomeranian dukes changed sides between Poland and the Knights very frequently. Władysław VII and Barnim V allied with the Teutonic Order. In 1390, however, after Jogaila had promised to hand part of the heritage of Castamere IV, Władysław VI's step-brother, over to Władysław. The latter concluded an alliance with Poland and received the Polish Castellany of Nakło and probably some adjacent areas as a fief in return, declaring himself a vassal of Jagiello III in Pysdry. Scholars offer somewhat different interpretations of the Treaty of Pysdry. According to scholars such as Julius Bardach, Władysław Zarplinski, Fenrich Martelia Kosman, Tadeusz Ladogorski, Andrzej Nowakowski, Michał Skazaniecki and Kazimierz Laski, Władysław's oath was for all territory held by him and meant that Pomerania-Stolp itself become a Polish fief. Other descriptions of the treaty included an oath of vassalage of Bogislaw VII to Jagiello without specifying a territory. Gorski, Labuda, Maitkowski and Zientara read the oath was for the territory Bogislaw received as fiefs from Jagiello. Mielkars said the oath was binding only Bogislaw himself, as a person, to Jagiello, and Garmovsky said the document shows Bogislaw giving a general solemn promise of service. Zacharovsky says it was an alliance and refers to Naklo being held as a Polish fief. With respect to the discourse in Polish historiography, Brannig and Buchholz say that however the treaty is interpreted, it did not have any significance for the future. The vassalage was short-lived. Bogislaw's brothers Barnum V and Bogislaw VIII, however, took on a friendly attitude towards the Teutonic Order, and Naklo returned to the Polish crown after Bogislaw's death. After early 1390s, Eric II of Pomerania-Stolp, grandchild of Danish King Valdemar IV, in contrast became king of the Kalmar Union in 1397. Eric, however, failed in his most ambitious plan, to make Bogislaw X of Pomerania-Stolp king of both the Kalmar Union and the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Eric had to leave Denmark in 1449 and ruled Pomerania-Rügenwalde, a small partition of Pomerania-Stolp, until his death in 1459. Pomerania-Stolp was a crucial point in the Knights' land supply route. Bogislaw VIII of Pomerania-Stolp allied with both the Teutonic Knights and Poland, but supported the latter after the war he had started in 1409 by blocking his lands for the Knights' troops and allowing his nobles to kidnap those who were traveling his lands. To his aid, he was granted the Lauenburg and Buttau areas and others, but those were lost in the First Peace of Thorn in 1411. Gain of Lauenburg and Buttau land. Eric II of Pomerania-Stolp allied with the Polish king Castamere IV in his 13 years' war against the Teutonic Knights. On January 3, 1455, he in turn was granted the Lauenburg and Buttau land at the Pomeranian frontier. When Lauenburg was retaken by the Knights in 1459, the Polish king was upset and ravaged the Stolp area. Eric reconciled with the king on August 21, 1466, and bought the town from the Knights on October 11, 6 days before the Second Peace of Thorn that was signed by Eric in 1467. Bogislaw X becomes sole ruler of the Duchy of Pomerania. Pomerania-Wolgast was reunited following the death of both Barnum VII and Barnum VIII in 1451. Both dukes died of the Black Death. The same disease caused the death of Wickham of Pomerania-Stettin, Ertinmar and Swantibor, children of Bogislaw X, and Otto III of Pomerania-Stettin. Thus, the line of Pomerania-Stettin had died out. The extinction of the House of Pomerania-Stettin triggered a conflict about inheritance with the Margraviate of Brandenburg. In the Treaty of Soldin of 1466, a compromise was negotiated. Bogislaw X and Eric II, the Dukes of Pomerania, took over Pomerania-Stettin as a Brandenburgian fief. This was disputed already during the same year by the Emperor, who intervened against the Brandenburgian overlordship of Pomerania. This led to a series of further warfare and truces that were ended by the Treaty of Prenzlauer of 1472, basically confirming the ruling of the Soldin Treaty, but settling on a border north of Graz resembling Brandenburg's recent gains. This treaty was accepted by the Emperor. In 1474, Eric II died of the Black Death, and his son Bogislaw X inherited Pomerania-Stolp. Bogislaw's brothers had died the same year. After the death of his uncle Bogislaw X in 1478, he became the first sole ruler in the Duchy of Pomerania since almost 200 years. Eric II had left Pomerania in tense conflicts with Brandenburg and Mecklenburg. Bogislaw managed to resolve these conflicts by both diplomatic and military means. He married his sister, Sophia, to Magnus II, Duke of Mecklenburg, and his other sister, Margaret, was married to Magnus's brother Balthasar. Bogislaw himself married Margaret, daughter of Brandenburg's Prince-Elector Frederick II. Also, in 1478, Bogislaw regained areas lost to Brandenburg by his father, most notably the town of Gartz and other small towns and castles north of the Brandenburgian Uckermark. During the confirmation of the Peace of Prenzlauer in 1479, the border was finally settled north of Strasbourg and Bogislaw had to take his possessions as a fief from Brandenburg. Dukes 1368 to 1373, Bogislaw V 1374 to 1377, Castamere IV 1377 to 1395, Władysław VII 1395 to 1402, Bogislaw VIII and Barnum V 1402 to 1403, Barnum V 1403 to 1418, Bogislaw VIII 1418 to 1446, Bogislaw X 1449 to 1459, Eric I